Aaron Rodgers is likely going to be traded to the Jets for what? We don't know yet, but it doesn't really matter. What we do know is that Jordan Love is going to be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers in 2023. And after watching his film, I'm actually pretty optimistic about his chances of working out. I'll explain why. Let's get into the film, starting right now. Let's start this thing off by looking at his only full game as a starter, 2021 against the Chiefs. It didn't go great. Love performed below average in the advanced metrics for this game, and more importantly, the Packers offense only scored 7 points. In case you don't remember the lore to this game, this was the week we all found out that Aaron Rodgers sort of lied about his vaccination status. Before the season, he said,
"Yeah, I've been immunized."
But we found out that he had not actually received vaccination. So he had to miss this game. Love was forced in without much warning, and Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, said, "All right, kid, we're going to blitz you, and we're going to play a bunch of man coverage on the back end, and we're going to force you to make tight window throws under pressure. Can you do it?" And Jordan Love, for the most part, said, "No, I cannot." But this is a really tough environment. It's the loudest stadium in the league. You've got to set all these complex protections in your first game as a starter. And honestly, I didn't think Love's process was too bad in this game, because they left Davante Adams one-on-one a lot. And when he was one-on-one, Love was happy to take that shot. And I can live with that. Now, he shouldn't have taken all those shots to Davante. When you're getting heated up like that, sometimes it's okay to just take the outlet, right? Throw hot. Get the ball out of your hands extremely quickly, right? This is wide open. This is an easy way to defeat that blitz, but instead it's going to Davante. But I'd rather the decision be, I'm going to throw it to Davante one-on-one, than I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm looking at this and it's covered. Oh, I've got to make my second read. And then he gets creamed. He holds onto the ball. He gets sacked. At least he was being decisive and getting the ball out of his hands. Similar story here. They're rushing 5 with that mugged up linebacker, but there are 5 linemen, so hypothetically this should be fine. But once Chris Jones kind of takes this inside rush path, the center tries to take him like it's a defensive line game. So he takes Chris Jones. Chris Jones is double teamed. 56 has no one on him now and has a free run at Love, who has to make a pass under pressure. But I like Love's process again. It makes sense to me. You've got Davante Adams one-on-one. Why not throw it to him? And Love is looking off that safety. He's not just looking at Davante the whole time. He's looking straight ahead, making sure 22 gets to the middle of the field here before he takes that outside shot. So he's looking off the safety, then his eyes snap to Davante. Just can't quite make the throw under pressure. I would like him to clean up his feet here maybe a little bit. He takes an extra hitch. I'd like to maybe just see this plant that back foot throw right now. But instead there's one extra hitch in there before doing it. That could have cleaned things up a little bit. But it's all fixable stuff in this game, I feel like. It just looks like a young guy who got thrown to the wolves a bit early. And he's got a hell of a security blanket in this game. And look, if I was at Arrowhead and I was under pressure and they were leaving Davante one-on-one, I would just throw that shit up to him no matter what, too. I get it, Jordan Love. I understand. And I don't want to wave away negative plays like they're no big deal. These are a big deal. He's got to play better. He's got to fix these issues. They are issues. But I'm just comforted knowing that I can understand what he's doing. He is trying to rip the heart out of the Chiefs. If they're going to play with Davante one-on-one, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to punish you. That's his mentality. He just isn't quite comfortable enough executing under pressure to actually do it yet. But that's something that I believe can come with time. Like here, the footwork needs to be better. He's stepping towards the sideline. His alley, his hallway is pointed towards like this NFL logo instead of where the ball is actually going. So this is not a great base to throw this ball from, and it sails and it's inaccurate, right? But is that something that can be fixed? A bit better footwork under pressure? Yes. Now, if he got to the top of his drop and just started running around like a chicken with his head cut off, that would concern me more than trying to execute the structure of the offense and just not quite being able to yet in your very first start. And also, shout out to the Chiefs defensive backs for doing a pretty decent job on Davante Adams for most of the day. He was well covered. There are now 2 off seasons removed from this game, and I think that Love has a really good chance to be better than people think right away, because every single game I've watched, there are a couple flashes of Love playing with really good tempo and timing within structure. Davante Adams at the top of your screen runs just a beautiful out route here, creates separation, and bang, that ball is right there. Jordan Love hits the play action, hits the top of his drop, takes one hitch, begins that throwing motion right as that back foot hits the ground the second time. You can see him starting to throw here. Davante is just beginning his break, and you could even say he begins his throwing motion right here. Davante doesn't even have outside leverage yet, but Love knows that he's going to win. He trusts it. Big throw with velocity, perfect accuracy. There it is. That's great stuff. Here's the only touchdown of the day, and the Packers do not quite get this protected right, so Love is under a lot of pressure. The fact that the protection wasn't set correctly may partially be on Love, yes, but I do like the timing here. Hits the top of his drop right here. It's man coverage. You see the matchup, Lazard versus Daniel Sorensen with his hips pointing the wrong way. Love diagnoses that. That's where he's going to go with the football. Quick, easy. Lazard makes man miss. Touchdown. Here's more good timing. The Packers are overloading the field side here with a bunch of routes and drawing these linebackers this way. That gives Davante Adams a one-on-one slant route on the backside. Love sells this by first looking to his left, seeing the linebackers are vacating the space over the middle of the field. Okay, the Davante route is a go. Quickly gets his hips over there. He's aligned, accurate, drives off that back foot quickly, and delivers an accurate pass. It may not look accurate from that angle. From this angle, you'll be able to see a bit better. Looks that way. We're all good to target Davante. And then real quick, he's backpedaling and then hops. Doesn't take a hitch, just drives right off that back foot. And this is an accurate pass, but Davante gets interfered with. This defensive back is hooking his arm, so he can't haul it in, but it does get called for a flag. And overall, good stuff from Love. This is not Love's reputation, but from what I've seen of him in the league, he's a pretty willing pocket passer. He wants to stand in there and read things out. He's really trying to be good within the structure of the system, and he has a lot of natural talent, so he can also make things happen when things go wrong. Like on this play, the Packers are running a screen, not really blocking anybody in the interior, getting out to block for Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones gets caught up by all these blitzers. He gets chipped, and that's not there. But Love isn't ready to give up on this play. He doesn't just ground it in the dirt, spike it. Davante Adams is running a crosser, and he's got separation. And with pressure in his face, Love is able to throw this off of his back foot with a lot of velocity, find Davante, and turn this into a positive play. That's a good example of solving problems quickly. Here's another good example. He has his back turned to the defense on play action. The offensive line just loses. There's a lot of pressure in his face as soon as he turns around. He's got the twitchiness and strength to make guys miss and make a throw with a lot of velocity with guys hanging all over him, trying to bring him down. That's a lot of zip. And he remembers, or at least notices, that he's got Mercedes Lewis. Even though Mercedes Lewis never really released out into the route, he's ineligible. And Love quickly remembers or realizes, like, oh yeah, I can throw it to that guy. And then he does throw it to that guy. A lot of guys just take a sack right there. This play is extremely psychotic. He takes a long drop back, and of course, Chris Jones is getting pressure right up the middle. Probably could just take the check down here, but you do see some of that desire and ability to create here. There's not anyone over here, so Love is going to try to scramble that way. I think he initially anticipates either just trying to bend the corner or maybe getting it out to Lazard running that way. But down the field, he sees Randall Cobb with his hand up. And look at where he is with three guys crashing around him. This is not a feasible throw for most quarterbacks in the league. But Love says, fuck it, I'm going to try it. And he's able to get this off and get it to Cobb just in the nick of time before Juan Thornhill can break this up. And a great catch as well down the field. This is pretty close to a true 50-50 ball by the time it reaches Cobb, and you never want to throw a true 50-50 ball. But it worked. And I can tell you for free right now, Aaron Rodgers is throwing this away around here. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks with the arm strength for this to even have a prayer. He was pretty amped up after that one, and you can see his footwork completely leave him on the next snap where he's fading away for no reason and misses a very easy throw to the flat. Just chill out. Just relax a little bit. Now, Love is not consistently accurate. In fact, he is consistently not accurate throwing on the run at this point, but he does have the talent to hit those insane out-of-structure trick shots that Packers fans are accustomed to seeing. But really what impresses me more with him is the in-structure stuff, like I've been saying. Here, pretty clear cover 2, man coverage, and the Packers have drawn up dagger here. And let's see when Love decides to throw this. Right about So there you see his hands start to separate. Right about here, I think you start to see him load up. He's throwing to Allen Lazard here. Lazard is still running upfield. He has not broken this inside at all. But Love knows it's going to be open. He sees the separation, and he pulls the trigger, rips this thing over the middle with great anticipation, and this turns into a big chunk play. Love that. It's very fair to question Love's lower body mechanics and therefore his accuracy. It's fair to question his composure under pressure, but I did like how fast he got rid of the ball. Here's a stat, and I get that we're dealing with really small sample sizes here, but kind of proves my point or illustrates my point. Jordan Love's time to throw in 2021 was pretty quick, 2.57 seconds. He was getting the ball out fast, even faster on average than Aaron Rodgers. That number aligns him more with the pocket passer young quarterbacks, your Davis Mills, Tua, Mac Jones, and Joe Burrow. He's in that range when it comes to how he plays and how soon he gets rid of the ball, as opposed to the creators, you might say, with Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, and Trey Lance in the year 2021. They were holding the ball over 3 seconds. Love is not like that. Getting the ball out quickly, did not take too many sacks. A lot of his pressures did not turn into sacks in 2021, and I think this all points to him being at least a competent or a promising pocket passer, even in 2021. It sounds a little crazy because PFF really hated his year, gave him a terrible grade. He had terrible stats. The offense didn't put up any points when he was quarterback, but I was a little impressed with him in 2021. I thought he had the mentality to be a top pocket passer and the athleticism to create when things went wrong. And that's everything you're looking for. That's what all the elite guys have, or both of those things. And he has the potential to be one of those guys. I really do think that. And this Philly game really bolstered that for me. He was totally surgical. Here he's going to run a speed out at the bottom of the screen versus off coverage. That's going to be open. Love knows it. Hits the top of his drop. Immediately, as soon as that back foot hits, he's getting into the motion of the throw right as Lazard is breaking. Slay has no chance to make a play on this thing. They pick up the third down. Easy, surgical, like I said. This was wide open, but I do think that the reaction time is impressive. His back is to the defense. While this fake is happening, these linebackers vacate the middle of the field. He gets his head around, instantly diagnoses, okay, this is open. This crosser is what I need to hit. Back foot on the ground, wastes no time getting it to Watson, who outruns everyone for a touchdown. The next throw is definitely the best of Jordan Love's young career, I think. This is a great situation to evaluate a quarterback from when they're in empty, because it's all on him. There is no play action. There is no motion here. There is no benefit of extra protection. It's on you to find the right guy and get him the football. The pre-snap coverage looks like cover 2, I would say, with 2 high safeties here. These corners down. There is no one really directly over Watson, which probably suggests zone. They call a cover 2 beater, trying to high-low Darius Slay. Here's the underneath route, Watson, and then you got Aaron Jones running up the seam. First thing he's doing, looking straight ahead, just making sure that these safeties don't rotate. They don't, okay. We're getting our eyes around to the man we're going to read. That's Darius Slay. He's not getting any depth. He's kind of squatting down on this route to Watson. So Love says, okay, I'm going to fire in this hole shot. Instantly, very quick, hits the top of his drop, and that throwing motion has started. Has not cleared Slay yet. Fires that thing in there with a lot of velocity, makes it there before the safety does. Hits Jones right in the numbers. He can't quite come down with it. But this is absolutely fantastic work from Jordan Love. And then there's this play, once again in empty. This is Love being a pure point guard. He hits the top of his drop. Instantly, he starts to throw this football. Instantly. You've got 2 curl routes here to hold these hook defenders. That opens up space in the middle of the field that Lazard is running into. Love instantly diagnoses that. He's already beginning to throw this ball into this window before Lazard clears this backer. And it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It protects Lazard. It's on his back shoulder. Protects him from this hospital hit from 43 if he let him too far. Lazard is able to catch it, spin around, and even pick up a couple more yards after the catch. This is why the Packers are excited about Jordan Love, because the last time we saw him, he was absolutely balling. A flash like this in 2022 is exactly what you wanted to see after the Chiefs game, because you needed to really look at that through rose-colored glasses and say, well, at least he's being aggressive and decisive. And then you see Love in this situation dicing up the Eagles like he's the best pocket passer in the league for just a couple plays. But it really gets me excited about the growth from last year and exactly the type of player that he can be pretty early. So here is the bottom line. If we see Love in 2023 and he is holding on to the football too long, he is not getting the ball out of his hands as soon as he hits the top of his drop. He is not making assumptions pre-snap and executing them quickly. He is not throwing with anticipation over the middle of the field. If he's not doing any of those things, it would be a step back. We have seen him do these things before. And with another offseason under his belt, he could be quite good at these things, actually. Like surprisingly good for the general public right away, I think. I think that there probably are going to be several bad moments when he is under pressure this year, when he is trying to create on the move. He does have a tendency to maybe lose his mind a little bit, throw a true 50-50 ball like that one to Cobb that we saw against the Chiefs. The preseason, you see a lot of that. There's some true head scratchers, but you don't see too much of it on his regular season film. It's pretty decisive stuff most of the time, and that's what really makes me optimistic. I do think that he's going to be surprisingly good. Is he going to be a top 10 guy right away? Probably not, but I don't even think it's off the table. I think that Jordan Love as your quarterback is going to give the Packers a chance at being a very good football team in 2023. Maybe he totally falls off. Who knows? It's all inconsistent, both the good and the bad. We don't know much, but after watching him, I'm optimistic.